We live in a world that thrives on yes. Yes to more work, yes to more social connections, yes to anything that anyone else seems to be doing. And we've talked about this from an angle of FOMO and why we should embrace the joy of missing out. Does the key of having a truly balanced and fulfilling life lie in saying yes to everything, or it actually lies in saying no strategically? This is what we'll talk about today, the power of no. And while it might sound simple, it can actually be quite challenging. This video will talk about the challenges associated with saying no. We'll talk about why setting boundaries through the power of no is crucial, how to identify situations where no is the right answer, and how to say no confidently without feeling guilty. So buckle up. This video might be just what you need to create a balanced and fulfilling life. Let's face it, saying yes feels good. It makes us feel helpful, wanted, important, and even productive. But the problem with this yes syndrome is that it can lead to a state of constant overwhelm. Our schedules get overloaded, our energy depletes, and our well-being suffers. Think about it. By saying yes to everything, you're effectively saying no to yourself. You're ignoring or neglecting your own needs of rest, relaxation, and time to pursue your own passions. This constant state of busyness can lead to resentment, burnout, and even health problems. But the good news is we can break free from this cycle. By learning to set boundaries and saying no more often, we can reclaim control of our time and energy. This allows us to focus on things that truly matter, like spending time with your loved ones, pursuing personal growth, or just taking that well-deserved break. So on that note, let's discuss a few more benefits that the power of no and setting boundaries can bring to us. The first one would be increase in productivity. By saying no to distractions and unnecessary commitments, you can free up valuable time and mental space to focus on tasks that truly matter. You'll be more present and focused, leading to better quality work and improved results. The next benefit is that of reduced stress. When your schedule becomes constantly overloaded, stress is inevitable. Saying no allows you to create a more manageable workload and prioritize tasks that don't overwhelm you. The third benefit is that of improved self-care. Finally, saying no to things that drain your energy gives you time to recharge. You can prioritize sleep, exercise, and other activities that nourish your mind, body, and spirit. The next one might not be too obvious, but setting boundaries can actually help you build stronger relationships. By saying no to commitments that either stretch you too thin or don't align with your values, can actually help you devote quality time to your loved ones. This can foster stronger, transparent, and more meaningful relationships. And finally, saying no helps to increase your confidence. As you learn to prioritize your own needs and say no more confidently, your self-esteem grows. This helps you become more in control of your life. Now, knowing benefits is one thing, but identifying situations where no is the right answer can actually be challenging. So here is a framework that can help you identify such situations. The first step would be to assess whether the situation is in conflict with your values. Does the request go against your core beliefs or principles? If so, a firm no is necessary. The second step would be to identify if it drains your energy. Does the request leave you feeling depleted and unmotivated? It's okay to say no to things that don't align with your energy levels. Another situation where you would say no is when it compromises with your priorities. And finally, say no when you don't have the resources. Don't be afraid to say no when you simply don't have the time or the skill or the resources to fulfill a request effectively. It's also important to understand that saying no does not equate to being selfish. It's about self-care and it's about taking responsibility of your own well-being. Most people will understand if you politely decline, especially if you explain your reasons. So you've identified a situation where no is the right answer. Now comes the slightly trickier part, saying it confidently and without any guilt. So here are some strategies that can help you with the art of saying a graceful no. The first one would be to be clear and direct. Don't beat around the bush. A simple no thank you or I'm afraid I can't is perfectly acceptable. The next one is optional, but if you want to, you can give a brief explanation. You can offer an explanation of your refusal. This could be a scheduling conflict, a prior commitment, or simply needing some personal time. The next strategy would be to focus on the I statements. Phrasing your response using the I statements helps you to avoid sounding accusatory. For example, I won't be able to take on that extra project right now, instead of, that project sounds too much work. A related optional strategy could be to suggest an alternative. In some cases, you might be able to provide an alternative solution. Perhaps you can offer help at a different time or suggest someone else who might be a better fit for the request. And finally, practice saying no regularly. The more comfortable you become saying no in low pressure situations, the easier it will become in much more challenging situations. Role play with a friend or practice saying no in a mirror to help build your confidence. Let's be honest, sometimes people will push back on you when you say no. They will try to guilt trip you or pressure you into changing your mind. Here's how you can handle such situations. As a first step, be firm but respectful. Maintain your position while remaining polite and professional. A firm no thank you can be repeated as necessary. If that doesn't work, be a broken record. If someone keeps pressuring you, politely but firmly repeat your refusal. This technique helps you to avoid being drawn into lengthy negotiations. Despite that, if somebody becomes overly insistent, you have the right to politely end the conversation. You can excuse yourself or suggest revisiting the topic at a later time. And finally, remember, it's okay to say no to someone you care about. Don't feel pressured into saying yes just because it's a friend or a family member. Setting healthy boundaries is important for all relationships. My final thought here is that saying no and setting boundaries is not just about protecting your own time and energy. It can be about building a culture that has respect for boundaries. So you can be a pioneer in your work circle, in your friend circle, or even in your family that helps propagate this culture, and you can start by normalizing saying no. Talk openly about the importance of setting boundaries and saying no when needed. Encourage others to do the same. You should also lead by example. Be confident in your ability to say no, and surely people will follow suit. And finally, acknowledge and appreciate people who respect your no without pushing back. This helps to reinforce positive behavior. In conclusion, remember, saying no and setting boundaries is a journey, not a destination. It takes practice and self-awareness, but the rewards are immense. By saying no more often, you'll be able to build yourself a life filled with greater balance, fulfillment, and well-being. So the next time you feel overwhelmed or stretched too thin, don't be afraid to say no. It is a powerful word that can transform your life for the better. Let me know in the comments below how you plan to incorporate no more often into your life. If you like this video, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more such conversations. Until next time, take care, be present, and work towards Sthirvana.